Over the last week, she has become known as one of the best-known Anglo-Israelis or English-speaking immigrants in the country. That is 80-year-old Effie, or 80-year-old, or I should say 80-year-old, or 80-year-young Effie Hercky, who was interviewed on local TV by chance in a Ramat Gan gym right after it opened from coronavirus lockdown. And this American immigrant charmed both anchor Rafi Reshef in the audience with her bubbly personality, indomitable spirit, and strongly American-accented Hebrew. Here's a bit of that appearance.
Oh, my God. אתה רוצה לראות את המסל שלי?
ברור.
אוקיי, רגע אחד. 1, 2, 3. ואתה רואה משהו?
בטח. ותודה רבה שהתפנית לרגע לדבר איתנו. באמת תודה.
Are you married?
אני כן, בהחלט.
חבל.
Now, since then, she's been profiled in the local press, parodied on Israeli TV satirical comedy show Eretz Nehederet, and appeared on another talk show where they made a Tinder profile for that merry widow. Well, early in the program, I spoke with Effie in a Givatayim home about how she's coping with this newfound fame and what she thinks that her celebrity is doing for the image of Anglo-Israelis. Hello, Effie. Thank you for joining us on i24 News.
Hi, Caleb. How are you? I'm very happy to be here with you.
We're happy to have you. First of all, give us some idea. What has your life been like this past week after that first interview you did on Israeli TV with Rafi Reshef?
You really don't want to know. I walk out on the street and they say, here's the superstar. I'm driving to work in the car and people take pictures from the windows. People ask me for my autograph and I wouldn't do it because I'm just plain me.
Right.
I'm always crazy. I'm always having fun. But I don't think I like being a superstar anymore.
Well, have people suggested you be on one of these reality shows yet? I think that probably could be the next thing for you.
Are you kidding? Somebody called me up and asked me if I would do America's Looking for Talent, but Israel's Looking for Talent. Oh, you can't believe it. You just can't believe it. As long as they don't ask me to do burlesque.
Now, Effie, I think one of the things that you've done is help maybe the image of the American immigrant to Israel, especially the older American immigrants. Sometimes Israelis can have a certain attitude about us Americans
I don't like what you're saying.
Well, go ahead.
Caleb, I don't like what you're saying the old immigrant. You're looking at a person who's 81, but I'm really 27. So don't say the old immigrant. When I came here, I was a young immigrant.
Okay. What brought you here, Effie, to Israel?
My husband was Nitzol Shoah as a young child.
Right, a Holocaust survivor.
Yes. And he lived on the kibbutz, and he said, let's try it. And we tried it. And my husband was killed 7 years after we came here in a car accident. And life goes on, and life is fun, and life is good. And you just have to keep going. And there's no other place in the world that I would rather live in. I brought my children here, 5 and 7, and now they're grandparents. My children are grandparents. And this is the place that every Jew has to live in.
Right. Now, Effie, a lot of comment has been made about your Hebrew. You speak with an American accent, as do many of us, including myself, though it is quite impressive. A lot of American immigrants actually often don't, because many people here speak English, don't actually learn to speak Hebrew. I mean, have you gotten a lot of comment about that?
Well, I want to tell you something. Some professor wrote a paper about me. She's a professor of linguistics, and somebody sent it to me about how charming it is that you mix Hebrew and English together. I'm not a brilliant person. I'm brilliant about life. I'm not good in technology, and I'm not good in languages. And I'm not ashamed. Whatever comes out, and most people understand me.
They sure do. Now, Effie, you've had a lot of fun, and you're obviously a fun person, but obviously you have a serious side. You've worked as a nurse, and I saw that you said you still volunteer at a hospital as a nurse. Let me just ask you, how has it been?
No. I'm not a nurse anymore. I worked until I was 80 years old, but not as a nurse. I do a lot of psychology. I bring the dead to little little life. And I dance, I sing, I carry on. This is in the Reut Hospital.
Right.
And do you know about Reut? It's a great, great hospital, and I've been there for about 20 years. And that's my thing. That's my home away from home.
I see.
And I think that we all have to do something for this country. Who was it? Kennedy said, don't ask whatever he said. Don't ask what the country can do for you. You do for the country.
Right. How has it been the past year, especially, Effie, given all that's happened in the hospital, what you've seen there?
Well, I want to tell you something. I'm a go-go person. I have to go. I have to be busy all the time. And it was die hard, but I have a little thing for my car that I can, I'm a chiyuni. How do you say chiyuni?
Essential.
But I was able to do things, and you do what you have to do. It's been a really unpleasant time for the whole country. And I'll tell you the truth, I think that this is one of the successes for me in the last week or so, because instead of talking about, oh, my back hurts me, my shoulder hurts me, I gave a little happiness and to take the minds off all this misery of the corona this year. I mean, this is a year.
It certainly has been.
A year of corona.
It certainly has been. What do you think?
So that's...
Go on, Effie.
No, you go on. You're the boss.
No. Let me just ask you, what did you think the show Eretz Nehederet, the comedy show, did a little parody of you there, played by one of its male performers? I mean, how did you react to that?
I want to tell you something. I never heard of the program. I never saw the program. Because I don't watch those kind of programs. But I thought the guy, I don't know who he is, I don't know what he looks like, but he looked great being me. And he did a fabulous, fabulous job. He's adorable, and I would love to meet him. And I hope I will meet him, because I think he's very special, especially as me.
Right. Effie, how do you feel? I mean, what do you account for the fact that all just because of a few minutes on TV, when they interviewed you in the gym, you've created such a sensation? What do you think it is that you brought in just those few minutes there that to really generate this amount of response from Israelis?
Shocking, isn't it shocking? What do I feel? I think it's because what I said a minute ago, that it's been such a tough year for everybody. Everybody's been so unhappy and just talking about the misery. And I think that I brought something a little happier, because that's my tchum in life, to be happy and to make people happy. Today at the hospital, I sat with 5 people. I had a little group of young people who all had accidents on the motorcycles. Oh, I had a little group, and they were so happy talking to me, and that's what I like to do.
Well, you've made us happy talking to you now, Effie Hercky. Thank you so much for joining us on i24 News.
And I thank you so much for having me and having you in my living room. And lots of kisses, and I wish everybody could be happy.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.